it ain't. I be thinking shit be evident. Y'all know what I'm talking about? For those of you, you just think people know this stuff because to you it's just so evident. And then you find out, nope, it's not common knowledge. I am Isis. Are you here? I am Isis. So I am Isis wrote is the name of your book called The Rule of Nine? I don't know if you're here. But she's very much about the wisdom and language of numbers. Setting up. Okay, are we going or not? What are we doing? Are we on or not? The language of numbers, and basically the power of creation through numbers. And she put up a piece of content, I don't know when, but I just saw it. And it said, in order for a land to be colonized, its owners have to agree. Are we going or not? What are we doing? Now, that was the opening like hook of her video. And I immediately started laughing because I already knew where she was going. And it was, to me, it was very evident. And I commented on her video and I said, I have not watched the whole video, but I started laughing immediately when you said, in order for a land to be conquered, its owners have to agree or permission. She used the word permission. Same thing, right? They have to give her permission. She might be like, well, no, permission is not the same as agree. I don't know. I am Isis. I'd be curious to hear. They have to agree. They have to allow that to happen in order for a land to be conquered. And I started laughing. I said, because to me, this is very evident that in order for a land to be conquered, its owners have to agree. In order for a land to be colonialized, its owners have to agree. And then the nuance of agreement. My point, anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. Hello, YouTube. Hello. When you truly are chosen, some indicators. This is what I said. Let me go ahead and get YouTube ready for us so they can hear this too. When you truly are chosen in these days and times, you're typically called to do work that's in opposition to what's considered normal. I repeat, you're typically called to do work that's in opposition to what is normal. Your work typically has to do with restoring truth. Not like my truth. You know how people be like, well, my truth is, which is another way of saying my experience, how I experience this. This is my truth, my experience, how I see it, my view, my perspective, my truth. So it's a very personal experience. Truth is about what's collective and perpetual and eternal, regardless of whether we're in 2024 or 1524. Okay? So this has to do with, anyway, that could become long. Anyway, I say all that to get at who I'm talking to. Okay? Who I'm talking to. And the true restoration of truth, regardless of how one feels about it, all right? So hello. Thank you for all the hearts. Hello, my name is Naima. If you're new here, I'm the founder of the Academy for Womanhood, where we help women grow up, particularly melanin dominant women who have always been different, meaning they are chosen. I mean, like many are called and few are chosen. I mean, like when Dick Gregory said, what's dangerous is when the universe pick you. Okay. And my company is in service to this woman. Okay. Who been around the world, been around the world, caught the same thing twice. Oh, honey, she has ran from her power. Sis, get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. Why me? Why now? What you trying to get me killed around here? You trying to get me killed around here? You talking to the hands. Are you trying to get me killed around here? Or, as what came up yesterday during womanhood initiation, listen, if I'm so chosen, right? Like many are called and few are chosen. If you really want me to do this, who you're talking to is your highness, your high self. This is who you're talking to. Wait a minute. If I have this knowing that I know I'm meant to bring this forth, like it, regardless of my circumstances, my background, trauma, what's going on in the world, I know I'm meant to bring. If I know I'm meant to, why is this so hard? Why is this such a struggle? Why do I feel like my life is on the line? Wait a minute. Why is this so lonely and isolating? Why am I so misunderstood if this is in service to humanity? If this is so benevolent, mm, this is a topic that came up yesterday. And very quickly, this was tied to the fact that for those of you who are gifted, whether you were diagnosed as gifted as a child, whether you have been uh, psychic since you were 4, since you have been, whatever your gift is, you've been clairvoyant since you were 2, you've been interpreting your mother's dreams since you were 6, you've known things, you've been able to see through things, you've had knowledge that to you it was just normal. It's just, but to other people, it's like groundbreaking. It's like breakthrough. People just wake up left and right. They come to you, right? When you just have it like that. You didn't go to a damn school to learn about psychic ability. You didn't go study under a master in Sudan. You didn't go study all the books and the girl. When you really got it like that, you very easily take advantage of it, right? You very easily take advantage of it. Yes or no? But somehow, when we break our fucking back to get it, we appreciate it. When you work tirelessly and overtime and struggle and persevere and push through when you really want to quit, somehow, girl, I work for this. You fight for it, you defend it, you protect it, you stand up for it. Meanwhile, if you've been gifted since you was 2, you let motherfuckers take it, steal it. You don't protect it, defend it. You don't charge for it. Oh, it ain't nothing, girl. I do this in my sleep. Girl, it ain't nothing. Yes or no? Yes or no? So for all of y'all that have been wondering, why is it so fucking hard if I'm gifted? If I'm just here to do this, this is my calling on earth. Why is it so fucking hard? God, God, yeah, what? Because you ain't gonna appreciate it if I just give it to you like that. You ain't gonna appreciate it if I just make it all easy and I just, there you go. The clients just line up, everybody just supports you and say, you on the right track. Good job. Thank you. If I just line it all up, you're gonna be pissing and shitting on it. Anyway, so that's a little bit about that. So, Lord, 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 Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all say thank you. You want to die? You want to leave? Leave then. When I say leave, I mean leave Earth. Be grateful that you're here, regardless of how you feel. I don't know how you feel. Okay. Be grateful. Are you grateful? Let's go ahead and conjure up some gratitude right now. Thank you. Thank you that I'm healthy. Um, Thank you that I have a smartphone. You recognize you on your smartphone right now, right? You have a smartphone. You know how many people in the world don't have a smartphone? Don't have internet access? They don't know what's going on outside of the town that they live in, outside of the family that they in. Oh, thank you for these phones. And then what's your mind doing? Well, you know that the people who get harmed with them creating cell phones, right? You know that Asian woman, because there's an Asian female billionaire. There's an Asian female billionaire who has control over a particular mineral that allows the screen that's on your smartphone right now to exist. Did you know that? Yeah. Girl, the Asians is conquering the fuck out of Africa. See, that's a whole other conversation. You got to learn how to be in control of your emotions. Otherwise, you see how this could go? Like we're having gratitude for the phone while at the same time being aware that Africa is being conquered like a motherfucker for its minerals. Now we know mother comes in and get to killing niggas because we all heard about these billionaires whose heads is getting cut off every year. Like we know about this, right? And it's not about the billionaire. It's about motherfuckers who ain't respecting the truth and the balance of order. That's why all of the men, not even just billionaires, multimillionaires, regular ass dudes, all their shit is being taken down. Because, yeah, shit can be out of order for a long time, but go ahead and lean. Go ahead and lean far enough. Go ahead and lean far enough. I went on an outing with this Asian dude in the San Francisco Bay years ago. Years ago. We went out on a boat. Black women, girl, wait a minute. Girl, a boat? What? Yeah, it was a little boat too. It was the kind of boat that relied on the weight of the people in the boat and them using their weight to maintain the boat, particularly when the winds start to hit. Now we're in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's not extremely windy, but it's windy. And the Bay Area is known for having sharks. Okay, Bay Area water is known for having sharks. It's a bit of a windy time. It's not winter, but it's a bit of a wind. It's a small boat. Okay, there's no engine on this boat. Is there an engine on this boat? Very small. I don't know if there was an engine on this boat. It was a very small boat. And he told me before we even got the boat, he said, okay, so when we get in this boat, and I'm using this as an analogy to make a point about why there's so much decline and degeneracy today. He said to me before we got on the boat, this was in Berkeley, California. He said before we got on this boat, so how this works is we have to really be in sync with how we lean. You know what I mean? Like we got to make sure. So I'm gonna be on this side, you're gonna be on this side, and we got to be very mindful of how we are in this boat. Da, 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 da. And he explained it to me. I got what he meant. I said, okay, let's do it. So we get in this boat, we go out. Now this is the ocean. This is not a lake. This is the ocean, the San Francisco Bay Ocean. Okay, we have on life jackets. Okay. So we get out here and the wind is kicking. It's not bad, but it's kicking. Okay. And then you can, because it's a small boat, it's very much impacted by the waves. Okay. And so we're looking, we're out, we're talking. And for the point came where the boat, the wind and the waves started to have the boat lean. And we caught it a few times where if it leans, he has to lean his body that way to get the boat back. Okay. If it leans his way, I have to lean this way a little bit more to get the boat. Like this is the construction of things. Okay. So this is a very balance is absolutely necessary for this boat not to tilt over. That's the point. Balance is absolutely necessary for this small boat in the ocean with two people, he and I, to keep this thing afloat. A point came where the wind came, the waves came, this unpredictable event came where I didn't respond quick enough to get us into balance. So the boat leaned and flipped, and he and I both fell into the ocean. Now we had on life jackets. Okay. And he immediately took the boat, flipped it back over, and said, okay, we'll go back. Because I was like, okay, enough. I was like, enough, enough. Let's go back, right? So we go back. It was great. We had a great time. It was such a great experience. It sort of reminds me of Hitch. Did you guys see Hitch with Will Smith and Eva Mendes? It sort of reminds me of that, where it was sort of a catastrophe, but she loved it. It was like an adventure. And I share that to say that when you go out of balance with the natural element, because this was an experience that was totally relying on us being in harmony with the winds, the water, the waves, and the flow of it all, and us responding at the right time in agreement with all the elements. And when I wasn't in appropriate right response with the elements, we flipped and the boat flipped over. I say that because so much of, and some of y'all feel like you've lost your mind, which is good. You going crazy, your anxiety is through the roof. It's crazy. You like looking out here at the world. I saw something somewhere. I'm just seeing the gauntlet. I'm saying the people who are grateful and focusing on creating the reality that they actually want. And I'm seeing whole other people who their anxiety is through the roof. They're, what do you call that? Pessimistic. They're deeply afraid. They're in isolation. They're like, sort of like paralyzed and tense. And like I'm seeing all of it. And how easy it is to forget, just how easy it is to forget. And because of who I am, I know and I see things so drastically different. Like I am Aisa's video talking about, in order for a land to be conquered, its owners have to agree, have to give permission. And to me, it's so very evident. And yet, clearly, mm, a lot of Africa gave permission for it to be colonized, whether it was deliberate agreement or any kind of, all the ways that, I'm going to bring this over to women because this is the direction I'm going in anyway. How much of the degeneration of humanity is happening because, frankly, women allow it to happen? This is not really the point of today's topic, but it's been so heavy on my mind. So heavy on my mind. So I'll be mindful not to go too far into that. But the balance of things, and why there's so much, you see all these, all the billionaires. Somebody's like, we got billionaires dying every year. Well, everybody dying, but you know, these ones who are engaging in supposedly nefarious practices, and these powerful men who are, they've been powerful because of so much of their, mm, oh God, so much of their, just ugly. And you can do, we, not everybody has free will, but for those people who think that they have free will and basically they're taking action. Anyway, living your life, whoever you are, whether you're rich, poor, middle class, whatever, right? And you're doing things that are, your intent is ugly. Your intent is ugly. Okay. And you are doing things that are, whether you're consciously or unconsciously doing things that are adding to imbalance, like us in the boat, imbalance, because I didn't catch my end of keeping us afloat. And you are engaging in activity, consciously or unconsciously, that's keeping us imbalanced. You are adding up this debt to be taken down. And we have been so out of balance for so long with the feminine not being in order. And we've tolerated so much, and the way, uh, nefarious intended people get people to agree. I don't even know why that went off because the battery is plugged up. Get people to agree is not like jolting it in your face automatically. It's a gradual getting you to give up your land so they can conquer it. It's a gradual working on you to get you to agree to your own demise. It's gradual. So, like, for those of you who have experience with narcissists, it's not immediate, it's gradually working on your mind. when they want to get humans to accept something, like remember with Kim Kardashian. Remember when she first hit the scene? Remember when Trump first hit the scene? It was like getting you to gradually agree to it. And before you know it, you're like unfree and you're like, how did I get here? So like the conquering of Africa. Anyway, we're not gonna go there now. We not. It's just things can be what they are because women have allowed it for so long, and we agreed at some point. We got to own that. Women have to own that. We agreed at some point, for whatever the reasons. Okay, we agreed to be disempowered. We agreed to be in the shits that we complain about now. We agreed, maybe not you, like obviously not even maybe, but obviously not us today, but our foremothers who made decisions before you and I got here agreed to something, consciously or unconsciously, okay? Because there's no victim. It can only happen with your agreement. Anything and everything in your reality can only happen with your agreement. A belief system you have, a pattern you have, the way you live only happens with your agreement. That's how powerful you are. Now, if you uh, uh, acquiesce that, if you offload that, if you say, no, that's not true, then you automatically are saying, well, that's not, I don't have that power. I'm not, well, okay, good. Then you go stay exactly where you are. And so now getting into today's topic of the pain and vulnerability of getting free and us working together. I want to invite you, if you are either live here now or you're watching as a replay, and you know it's time for you and I to work privately together. You know it's time for you to be in a high level network of women. So this is separate from my woman community. If you are either in my woman community or you've heard me talk about it repeatedly, this is not the woman community I'm talking about. I'm talking about something way more advanced for women who are playing or who are ready to play a much bigger game. So you're beyond a lot of the typical um, I think this is. I don't think I need to even go into it. It's very clear. You know when you're ready. We always know. We always know. There was an experience yesterday. I don't want to talk about it, but we always know, and we lie a lot as women. We lie a lot. We just a woman lied right there to me yesterday, and it was like, and I said to the other women who was in the space, this is what lying looks like, because I want us to realize that, man, we just and a woman is only willing to stop lying. There's certain conditions. Typically, there's certain events that occur that has a woman stop lying. And what do I mean? Because it's at this point that she's ready to say yes to the pain. Today's topic, the pain and vulnerability of getting free and really taking on her chosen position. Again, many are called, few are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. And part of there's multiple pieces going on right now. Um, some of the typical conditions that I have found in my own experience and working with other women that occur where a woman comes to a place of giving up lying, making hard decisions, uh, and really starting to take decisions that drastically shift her life are typically when something catastrophic happens in her life. This is one condition. Not that's not the only one. Something catastrophic, whether a terminal illness where she literally gets told by the doctor she has a year to live, like something like that, right? Um, something she ends up in the hospital. You know, I'm working with a woman right now. She ended up what do you call that? Dehydrated, exhausted in the hospital earlier this year. So something like this that makes her stop, and it arrests her so aggressively that it makes her stop with the shits. So that's one. And a lot of people are actually waiting for that in their lives because for whatever reason they can't find it in them say yes to the thing that they know they need to say yes to. So a lot of people are waiting for that on a collective level. They like, I just want whoever, God, whoever, to just come and destroy this shit because apparently humans can't figure it out. So something catastrophic. Um, that and that was on that death front, like life or death, or she gets served with divorce papers. Something happens with somebody in her life, like somebody in her life dies that she cares about, a parent, a lover, a spouse, something like that happens. Um, um, Sometimes it's not something negatively extreme. Sometimes it's she has had enough time and space to be quiet. She's had enough time and space to be quiet. This was actually a woman who I met yesterday who joined the woman community. Enough time and space to be quiet and to not be caught up in like the busyness of life all the time and moving and shaking and going and da, 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 da. And it's like she sees a particular kind of clear that she hasn't seen in a long time, and she's willing to make the choice. Uh, and sometimes it's just sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired. The issue with somebody, I'll say this for those of you who are at a place of sick and tired, not the seduction of making a decision from sick and tired is that oftentimes people who are sick and tired, when they get a little bit of relief from the sick and tired, there's a kind of like, okay. And they go back to the very pattern that had them get to sick and tired to begin with. That's oftentimes the seduction and temporary fix of folks who are sick and tired. Mm. So I sent out a newsletter. I send out a newsletter every Monday called the Erotic Path newsletter. The Erotic Path. Before I go, let me come say hi. Let me come say hi. Let me come say hi. They turn the light off because they know it was too bright. Hey, y'all. Mm, mm. It's so easy. Humans make it difficult. It's so easy. We don't like easy. We just don't. We don't like easy. Dear God, we don't like easy. We don't like easy. Whenever I have, anyway, I won't go off into the. Ah, hey, Coach Tay. So, the newsletter, if you'd like to subscribe to the newsletter, you can go to the link in my bio and click Erotic Path newsletter and subscribe. This newsletter is to help you get free. That's the whole point, to help you get free. And my focus is, yeah, very good. So there's a lot of powerful women around the world, right? You know powerful women, don't you? You're a powerful woman. You know other powerful women, right? Yes, no? Let me know in the comments. You know powerful women, right? And you have witnessed and or experienced different degrees of power. What do I mean by power? That's another thing to get at, because most people look at power through a very masculine lens, like domination lens. When I talk about power, I don't mean domination at all. Not at all. I mean feminine power. So perhaps I should say feminine power, which is soft, which is intuitive, receptive. It knows. Oh, I'm telling you, feminine power knows, baby. One of the things that was part of the newsletter and I cut out in my editing was that um, if women were, and I put capital letters, so this was edited out of the Erotic Path newsletter. If yesterday's that went out, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. If women were physiologically and psychologically honest, physiologically, what do I mean when I say physiologically honest? What do y'all think I mean when I say physiologically honest? What do you hear? Physiologically and psychologically honest. So this was cut out. And I cut it out because I felt like I was going off on a tangent. What do I mean when I say if women were physiologically honest? What do you hear? What does that mean to you? I said if women were psychologically, first of all, before I even finish it, I want to hear what you hear when I say that. I said if women, oh wait, right, that's true, exactly. Okay. If women were psychologically and physiologically honest, one, the world would not hardly look like what it looks like, and men would not be able to get away with the shit that they get away with. This is why I say the earth, humanity, all of this looks like this because women in mass refuse power. Yeah, we refuse it. We don't want it. So much was done. The women agreed to so much that got us on this side and so much imbalance. And it's like, y'all see how white men, well, I shouldn't say white men, correction, correction, correction. The ones who do, or maybe I should say white people, not even just white men, right? Like Amanda Seale says, not just white people, the people who identify as white. Anyway, listen, white people who genuinely see themselves as superior to black people, who genuinely see black people as, yeah, I know what I'm talking about, like those white people. They genuinely, like they actually believe their programming. They actually believe it. This is how aggressively they believe it. They plan centuries in it. They plan because that's how intensely they believe their programming. Y'all ever like listen to or watch like hardcore racist white folks, like the level of conviction and like actual belief that they have around an entire program and conditioning that they have? Y'all ever like look at that shit and be like, wow. I remember the first time I dealt with blatant white person. I was at Nordstrom Rack. I was like 20, something like that. I was like 20, Nordstrom Rack in San Francisco, walking down the aisle, and I came across, aisles that cross like this. And it was a white woman with a basket, with a child in the basket. And I just saw a woman with a child in a basket and just, you know, yielded to let her go by. As this woman was walking by, she said out of her mouth, "That's right. You better let me walk by. I'm white." Do you know how, like, wow, is what a dumbfounded, dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded. But the number of people who, like, literally, you could, okay, the point I'm making here is how much they believe the conditioning. Similarly, the conditioning that both men and women have about who we are and what we're supposed to be. I don't want to get too far off into it because it's so psychologically, you can't reason with it. It's like you can't reason with racist people. There's no reason. You can't. So just don't, because you get sucked in on an energy level with trying to reason with people's programming because their whole existence depends on the program. So it's like, just stop, because to actually face the program is a kind of annihilation. It so we don't do that. And what's so important for each of us, and this is part I want to connect this to why it's so convenient and easy to lie. It's just so convenient. What do I mean? When I here's okay, again, y'all got to remember, I'm talking about the chosen. Many are called and few are chosen. So I'm not talking about, you know, you are, you are. And you're living in a world, like, we're in this world. I'm here. I'm walking around, and it's like it's just so weird. It's so strange. It's been like this my whole life, and it's and you look around and you're like, wow. I'm telling you, I've been wild since I was a teenager. Like, people really think this, like, people really live like this, like, the normals, because it's so easy and convenient to stay lying because everybody is doing it, but they don't know that they're doing it. That's part of the program. It's wild. Anybody anybody here, you get with it? And it's just like, and that's why it's so easy to just check out. Just check out. Just because it's overwhelming, right? Because it's masses of people just doing it all the time. And everybody's miserable, but we're just trying to make it work. Everybody's miserable, but it's like, because of the pressure, because it's all happening here. People don't even realize but it's unconscious. Like, this is not active in people's mind. They're not walking around like, gosh, I'm just lying all the time. Unless they are aware of it, which most people are not. They just think this is how humanity works. This is how it goes. This is how we're supposed to live. This is who they are. This is who anyway, so when a woman who's chosen has been running and hiding for a long time, which is relatively easy to do. And I say relatively easy to do because even while you're doing it, it hurts. It's going to be pain either way. But there's a particular kind of hurt when you're hiding. That's a different kind of hurt when you're visible and just dealing with the pain of being a visible, powerful being, dealing with people, doing your work in the world. It's still a pain, it's just different kinds of pain. And when you're hiding, And you can camouflage because everybody's, you make friends very easily because everybody's, they're like pawns, right? So you can camouflage. You can get friends easily. You can just go hang out with anybody and everybody. And you get a sort of quiet praise for being mediocre. You get a quiet praise for doing normal things, being normal, etc. You fit in. And so you get accepted by everybody in your life. Everybody, friends, family, lovers, boyfriends, husbands, whatever, children. And because you fit in, it feeds that biological need to belong. Okay, it feeds that biological need to belong. So considering that it feeds the biological need to belong. Okay, this is where it starts to get deep. And then this woman decides that she's going to defy. This is a huge decision right here. She's going to defy the biological need to belong because I don't know, she was told she had 1 year left to live because she got sick and tired because something drastic happened in her life because she just woke up and decided today was the day, whatever's the reason. She defies the biological need to belong and no longer fitting in. Lying is not always like bold-faced lying. Sometimes it's just withholding the truth. Sometimes it's saying this, but part of it, but not all of it. Because if you said all of it, that would totally alter the relationship, the conditions, whatever. And so she totally defies the biological need to belong to then actually walk the path as a chosen being. That right there is massive. And I want to help you do that. What do I mean by help you? Look, let me be clear. I mean, create the environment where you are supported in doing that sustainably. That's what I mean. Because ultimately, you make the decision. Ultimately, I was required to make the decision. Ultimately, every woman is required to make her decision. Nobody can make the decision for you. A piece of content went up on my TikTok wall today saying that the high level help that you want, because are you aware that there's a spiritual power that you hook into when you say yes to your true path? It like literally hands just come and lift you up. But the yes has to be sincere and from the heart. You can't trick your highness. Can't you? You can trick your mama, your daddy. You can lie to everybody else, but you can't trick and lie to your highness. Okay. So when you say yes for real, the hands come. The hands. I know some of y'all trying to lie and trick the hands. I'm ready. Oh God. Oh my God. Your ass went to a retreat and had a breakthrough moment. Oh my God. No, you was just high because you was in Bali. That's why you went home and the shit was still the same. Because it wasn't sincere. It wasn't sincere. When it's sincere, everybody know. Because your energy shifts, everything. Shit you was so committed to and dedicated to just last week, out the door. Because it was sincere right here. Then the hands come and imbue you with a strength, imbue you with sight, imbue you with ideas that you just couldn't access a week ago, imbue you with a power, imbue you with a foresight, imbue you with suddenly this is happening, calls is coming, this is it. But none of that was gonna happen a week ago when you was trying to fake. I'm ready. I'm ready, like a movie moment. In the movies, God, ancestors, oh, your begging ass prayer. This shit is hilarious because I've done so many of these kinds of things. It's just hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. You ain't tricking. Okay, so huge decision, huge to define the biological need to belong. Not saying that it goes away. There's a caveat to that. There's a caveat to that. There is most certainly a caveat to that. I'm not going to go there now because that's much deeper and higher, and I'm not going to go there right now. Anyway, how I help is one, being a high level mentor to you privately. We work together, and or you being inside of my elite network of women who are sincere about walking their chosen path. If you know that now is the time for you and I to work together, you can complete an application for me to consider you and how you get down and what you're looking for. If we're a good fit, you go to the link in my bio, you click it. There are 7 options. At the very bottom, there's an application. You can complete that application. And I'm booking calls this week with women where there's a good fit. Oh, and on YouTube, the link will be in the description. So, agreeing to pain and vulnerability. So, this is what happens on the other side. So, we've talked about defying the biological need to belong and saying yes, and how that's a massive decision right there. Massive, huge. And it only works when you're sincere, right? So, you've made the decision. Boom. And now you're on the side of yes. You're on the side of walking your signature path, doing the work that you've known all along that you were here to do. This is not like a mystery. Yeah. You've known for 10, 15, 20 years. Okay. 4 years that this is the work for you to do. And so now you're on the yes side. You're sincere about your signature chosen path. And now you've signed up for a different kind of pain. Okay. You've signed up for a different kind of pain. You've signed up for um, saying no to cheap ego thrills and empty calories and all the things that you were saying yes to over here. So, over here, you were willing to eat the empty calories of feeling like you were doing something, that feeling of like you're doing a lot, but you're not going anywhere. Cheap ego thrills. I'm doing a lot, but shout out to Jacqueline, Jack Queen, I think that's her name. Y'all know Jack Queen, the Real Baddie podcast here on TikTok. I absolutely adore this young woman. She is an artist, a musical artist, and she raps. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Yes, Real Betty Podcast. Her. I adore that sweet thing. I love when she be creating her content, coach, and she be like, eh. I love when she do that. It's so signature to her. It's her thing. And she's in one of her rap songs, which you can find on Spotify. I don't know the name of the song. Maybe you know the name of the song, Coach Tay. But she always has it in her content. And it says, how you do the most, but you still not enough. How you do the most, but you still not enough. That's an example of cheap ego thrills where you busy. Oh my God, I'm so busy, girl. I'm overwhelmed. Girl, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Girl, I'm busy. Girl, I got a lot going on. It ain't going nowhere. How you do the most, but you still not enough. It's never enough. You're never fulfilled. Your anxiety is through the roof. Ooh, but you so busy. You got so many ego thrills, cheap, empty calories. That's the life. That's the kind of pain you live on this side before you say yes. Okay. On this side, the pain that you sign up for. Wait a minute, I'm already at an hour and a half. Is that what this is telling me? TikTok is telling me to verify. I know I ain't been here for an hour and a half, have I? Girl, this time be on, boy. Okay, there we go. On this side, when you say yes to your signature path, you sign up for a different kind of pain. The pain you sign up for, so many different, and it's signature to you. So you may or may not feel this one. Yours is going to be. But you're taking action from who you actually are. And who you actually are is foreign to most people, which is why in some content that I put out, I think today, it said that for most people who you interact with, when you're on this side, seriously, sincerely, you are the first kind of being that they've interacted with like this. So depending on who it is, right? It could be a stranger, it could be a friend or family member, right? So it depends on who it is. You're foreign to them. This is new to them. This you are new to them, which is part of why you didn't want to say yes to your signature path to begin with, because you don't want to be foreign. You don't want to feel what it feels like to be the first and people reacting to you and feeling the sting of rejection, feeling the sting of judgment, feeling the sting of no longer belonging to the whoever you were belonging to once upon a time. And not only that, you got to actually stand on business. What do I mean? Be who you are. And when you first say yes, not even when you first say yes, but even for a while, you're wobbly in standing on business. This is where vulnerability comes into play. This is where vulnerability comes into play. So, some content went up today where I talked about acting like you know when you don't know because you don't want to look weak. You don't want to look like you don't know. You don't want to uh, for your family to be like, I told you, you don't want to fail publicly. You don't want to look like a loser. You don't want to. And I talked about this also in the Erotic Path newsletter. Again, if you want access, you can go to the link in my bio right now and register. Erotic Path newsletter comes out every Monday. You don't want to be the different one. Not only with your friends and family and people who know you. But for those of you who are called to be public facing and create content, you're also going to be very foreign to some people on the internet. Now, the bright side is there are going to be quite a few people who you are a breath of fresh air to them. You're a tall drink of water. You are freedom. You are a model. They want to hire you. They want to work with you. They want to share your content. But most of us are not giving our energy and attention to that. We're giving our energy and attention to what we're going to lose, how much is going to hurt, rejected, abandoned, no longer fitting, da 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 da. So that's a little piece right there. Think about the people who you're going to help, who you're going to be in service to. First, yourself. Before we start talking about being in service to other people, you're in service to yourself first, because you ain't helping nobody. You helping yourself first. So that's one of the pains that you sign up for over here is being who you really are, standing on business, being the first and being vulnerable and being willing to feel all the pain of being the first, of being on the receiving end of people. It's so many, who knows? There's a variety of things that can happen, but being on the, you ever like, those videos you see perhaps of like Black people in like Asian countries or Asian towns where these Asian people don't have either never seen a Black person or rarely see them, and they're looking at them with a. Some Black people see it as a curiosity. Some Black people see it as a, like what was they like? I'm an animal, like I'm something to pet, and it's uncomfortable. They don't like how it feels. Some Black people, right? We've seen these videos, right? Similarly, for you, when you come out with your work, like things you don't see anybody talking about, but to you it's just obvious this is the work for you to do. You don't see anybody framing this, talking about this. You have knowledge that's not in books that you have been called to bring forth. Anybody here have this as their internal state? Anybody here? Content you're called to create, etc., etc. And you're going to be the first one that you know of to bring that to the world stage. You're going to be the first that you know of. You're going to be the first to that your family is going to see of this kind of information, knowledge, wisdom. If you got something related to some true feminine power shit, you know that's going to drive a lot of people up the fucking wall because the programming is so thick. It's why. And so then you're going to come and bring your content, right? So you sitting and standing and feeling the pain, because it hurts, of being on the receiving end of people experiencing the energy of you, the knowledge of you, a you for the first time. They've never seen anything like you. They've never experienced anything like you. Now, to the people who you are called to, it's going to be extraordinary. Like, I can tell you that now. It's going to be a homecoming. It's going to be like yesterday at our womanhood initiation, one woman who's from Somalia, and she's in Germany right now. I think she said she was raised in Amsterdam. She said, Naima, when I saw your content, she said, it's like you were speaking right here. You were speaking right here. You were speaking right into exactly me. Like, that's going to happen. And that's where your fucking attention need to go. To the people who's going to have their own version of that with you. Where you are like oh my God, they got to work with you. This woman says she's been following my content since last year, and she saw it. She said, I know I'm going to be ready. And she said, I was ready. Today, I was ready. That's how people are going to be about you. But you so focused on the people who are going to be like, you demon bitch, you need to repent. Or you doing any kind of like true restoration of who the feminine was or is, but who she was before all the defilement. Oh, the men gonna be clowning. Women too. You gonna get way more love from the women than you do from men, but the men gonna be clowning. That's a whole other. Like, who here feels called? Like, truly, 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 truly. Because I've been thinking about this a lot. Because it. Oh God, this is deep and wide. I'm not gonna bring it up right now. I'm not. I'm just not. No. But true restoration of the feminine. Do you know most people have never seen a woman? Like a full bodied, embodied woman? Do you know most people have never seen a woman? How do you define woman? Define woman for me right now. Like full, whole woman. Right? So we know what's the socially acceptable version of woman, right? We know that. And then the full, yeah, please, a few people define woman. Define woman. What is a woman? What is a woman? What is a woman? Like a like full embodied feminine, full embodied divine feminine. Whether you call it divine feminine or not, full embodied feminine, full embodied, like devoid, like fully aware, like fully in connection with the unseen world, fully in connection, activated, her full body. Remember, I said earlier about if women were physiologically and psychologically true, the world would not, girl, we wouldn't have this government, we wouldn't have the food problems, the poverty problems, all the shit humanity complained about, global this and all these problems. This shit is happening because women are refusing en masse. And plenty are coming to the plate. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we might not be seeing them all, but it's happening. We see it. The events is showing us, right? But baby, I'm telling you, if half of the adult female population, when I say adult, let's say 18 and up, if half woke up their primal power, oh my God. There would be people who would just collapse into death, just collapse into death, like, and just die, drop, dead, like that. The energetic violence that was asserted to defile the feminine, the violence, it's just, and oh God, and all the, listen, here, Jay-Z said is evil but brilliant. Evil but brilliant. Evil but brilliant. Men know men, right? Like women know women. Men know men. They know, so men know what to do to conquer other men. Let me stop. I'm not gonna even let me stop. Let me- It's so evident to me. It's just this is part of the thing that it's like tempering that thing. Tempering. So I see one person who responded to what is a woman. You see how nobody here is answering the question of what is a woman? You see that? Now, if I say what's a hoe, the comments will fill up. You know, if I said what makes a good mom? Oh God, y'all would fill it up here. But you see how nobody's answering the question of what is a woman? This is what I mean by most people have never seen a woman. What we've seen is a socially acceptable, agreeable female. We've seen a lot of that. Or we've seen the archetypes, right? The sexy reds, and that whole everybody who fits in that, right? We've seen the like professional corporate black woman, right? We know what that looks like with the suit jacket on, right? We've seen the trad wife look and feel what that looks like and feels like, right? What else? There's certain archetypes that we are aware of, right? But when I say what is a woman, it's like we draw blanks. Like, well, what is a woman? Like, what is a woman? Who's honest physiologically and psychologically, who's fully imbued with full feminine force. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? And if half of women on planet Earth right now, 18 and over, actually became that, motherfucker, I remember when the world went crazy back in 19. Talking about lose their mind. Yep. This shit can stay in place. Oh God. So for you to come out on the yes side, there's such an agreement to living in the pain and the vulnerability of foreign terrain for you. Because there's a lot of foreign terrain. You're getting into relationship with a lot of the energy that's been defiled and disrespected by religion or ignored. That's one of the ways that the feminine, just ignore it. Just ignore. Just ignore. Just ignore. Just ignore. Just defile, disrespect, ignore, shame. Uh, do that thing where you uh, where it's like, if I don't agree, I'm gonna lose my need to belong. If I don't agree, I'm not gonna be right. So getting women to agree to social structures, or else they're not gonna belong to society, to villages. They're not gonna have resources, and they're gonna die. That's what our long held systems have implanted into the minds of humans. Hmm. So, inside the newsletter, which I feel like I should send it out again because it's so rich. Just sometimes, it's long and people open it and they're like, I'm gonna get back to it, but they don't get to it. And when they receive it again, they can, um, in the newsletter, I talked about noticing yourself. This is the how of starting to be able to do two things. One, looking at where you've already constructed a world based on avoiding. And then two, starting to, in a very do it yourself, at home kind of way, starting to face the pain that you've been avoiding for a long time. Because so much of this is that we just don't want to hurt. Whatever the hurt, wherever the hurt and however the hurt could come from. Not belonging, being judged, who you think you are, what you doing, I told you so, see you failed. Certain things that you have found comfort in, right? And knowing that that's going to shift once they know who you are, right? However that could look and how that could hurt. So much of it is just us avoiding hurt. And please know, if you've already been doing this and you know you've been doing this for a long time, you see how much of your life has just been in avoiding and how that feels. Just living and avoiding. Okay. Ugh, this came up yesterday too, because I talked about this quite a bit. The fear of being killed. Anybody here has that? Fear of being killed. When you truly come out. Truly. Anybody here has that? Fear of being killed. And what have you already done? If you do have that as a fear, what have you already done to reconcile that or to be in harmony with that so that it no longer has you paralyzed and delaying? And what have you already done about that? Anybody want to share? If you have that fear of being killed, one of the women in the Womanhood initiation brought that up yesterday because she too has been in live streams. And it's a thing. It's but this is what I mean by, you see how the fact that I even talked about that out loud? This is what I mean by, one, you're going to be the first that people are going to hear talking about the things that you're talking about is going to be exactly what they need. And two, why you need to talk about the stuff that you don't hear nobody else talking about, and you think because you don't hear other people talking about it, that, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. Do anybody want to hear about this? It seems like the only thing that really is viral on TikTok is like negative and gossip and da, 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 da. This is what I mean by you're the first. You're the pioneer. And while to the ego mind that might sound amazing, there's a lot of pain associated with that path. And it's worth it. I mean, like, get into the reality of the time of your life. Get into the reality that your time is limited. Just get into the reality of that. Your time is limited. How easily we forget that your time is limited. And we have so much faith that we're going to be here next year, 2 years from now. But let your mama die suddenly. Oh my God. Suddenly, I need to get to living. You see what I mean? Or just let somebody close to you die. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's time to go. Boom. You see what I mean? That's what I mean when I said earlier. Typically, some shit like that happen, and people be like, okay, nah, nah, nah. Why you gotta wait for that? Well, maybe sometimes that's what it takes. Because apparently that's what it's taking for quite a few people. Somebody gotta die. I met a guy today. Hi. We had a conversation. And he talked about a friend of his died, COVID. And he said when his friend died, he just felt like he needed, and he's a workaholic. He admitted to being working a lot, da da da. Da. And he said, a good friend of his died, and he was like, I need to like live, man. I need to see like that. So the noticing, the noticing. Again, I talked about this in the newsletter. The newsletter goes out every Monday. It's really incredible to help you get free, especially for those of you who are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. Hello. Glad you're here. I need to cut my nails. So noticing, this is part of the how of dealing with the pain on the yes path. Dealing with the pain on the yes path. The yes path. Hello. So noticing. Who here would like to talk about the ways that you already notice that you avoid pain? Anybody here want to comment about that? Oh, wait, actually, before I go on, I want to reiterate something and add something. If you're ready to work at a high level, you know I'm the one to help you. If you want to be able to talk with me monthly, weekly, because in my elite group, we're going to be looking at either weekly or every other week. Uh, and you're ready to be deliberate. Okay, period. You're ready to be deliberate. Okay, and you know I'm the one to help you. And you're looking for either actual coaching or a mentorship. You can apply to work with me. You go to the link in my bio, click it. There are 7 options. At the very bottom, there's an application. On YouTube, the application link is in the description. Also, if you know you're not ready to work with me privately, but oh, here's another thing I didn't share. Oh my goodness. Doors to Women in Italy 2025 are open. Oh God. Doors to Women in Italy 2025 are open. And an email that went out earlier today with some incentive. Anybody here had their eye on Women in Italy? Let me just share it, even for the replay. Let me just share it. So today is Tuesday. Well, it's Wednesday now. But today is Tuesday. And August 28th. Today is Tuesday, August 28th. And I gave an incentive for Women in Italy, July 7th through the 15th. Yeah, I think that's the date. And let me share why it shows July. So July is a big sale month in, I think, all of Europe, but definitely Italy. It's a big sale month. What does that mean? It's a big sale month. Oh my God, it's a big sale month. So not only are you in the fashion capital of the world during a sale month, Well, actually, that was it. You're in the fashion capital of the world on a in a sale month. Okay, so all of July is a sale month. So August, we're in August now, is a big holiday month in Italy. So like this week, Monday, everybody came back from holiday. Well, a majority of people came back from holiday. So you see, or I see a bunch of people in the streets, bronze, girl, bronze, bronze, bronze. Because folks been at the ocean side in the south. They've been in Greece. I was at a cafe yesterday. A woman was, she was bronze, and I was like, "So you just came back from holiday?" She's like, "Yep, I just got back today." I said, "Where'd you go?" She said, "Greece." So basically, August is the big holiday month. So in July, everything goes on sale to get it out because they know people going on holiday in August, and then new shipments for the season comes in. It starts end of August. It's already started, but it comes heavy in September. So in July, oh my God. And that's why I made it early July, July 7th to the 15th, because you don't want to come at the end of July when folks have been, you getting the last pickings of things. Girl, girl. When I tell you the shopping I was doing last month, baby, listen. So I am partial. I'm partial to Italy, so of course I'm gonna big it up. But listen, please listen. If you are seriously into shopping, fashion wise, if you are into looking good, so this is for the girls that you don't play. You will get on a plane for a dress. You will pay good money for accessories. So this is what I'm talking to right now. I specifically scheduled this for July 7th through the 15th so we could be at the beginning of the shopping. Okay. I'm having this be a heavy emphasis on shopping because here's the thing, designer be on sale too. I'm not a big designer girl, but if you are, the shopping is ridiculous. Like, oh my God. I bought a dress. Actually, I created it was an orange dress. Did y'all see that piece of content I did in Lake Como with that orange dress? Was I cute? What? I got that on sale. Um, and other things too. I have another dress that's hanging over there. Girl, listen. So I'm very excited about that. Very, very, very excited about that. So anyway, so that's why I did July. July is hot. July is very hot. So just know that. It's a busy month. It's the summer. It's a busy month. It's a hot month. It's a big sale month. So just know all that. So anyway, I just want to share that because if you went to shopping, you need to know. Get your money together. Okay, so the email that went out today said that for, I think it was the first three women, I think, first three women who sign up before Friday for Women in Italy, July 7th through the 15th, and pay in full, which is $10,000, who pay in full before Friday, I'm going to give you 6 months of texting with me. 6 months of mentorship via text with me. 6 months of mentorship via text. Okay? You're going to get that for free when you pay in full for Women in Italy before Friday. Okay? Today's Tuesday, August 28th. So you can DM me if you have any inquiries about this. If you are on YouTube, you can email me. The email will be in the description. Okay. Womanhood initiations. I am hosting at least one more, maybe two more this week. So the next one is Thursday. So you can sign up for that with the link in my bio. Womanhood initiation is for my intro community. Again, this is for my intro community. The application is for women who are much more advanced, who are either already on the yes path or they're ready to make the decision to be on the yes path, and you are further along in your development. Okay. The woman community is much more about women who are relatively new to the power path or who have they sort of like are aware of a lot of things, but they're not experientially sound. Okay. So the woman community is still community. It's a great entry level opportunity for you to begin to start to be seen be able to work with me once a month because we meet the first Monday of every month on Zoom. So our next meeting is next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. You get to connect with a group of women who have already gone through this womanhood initiation. So there's been a kind of screening for a woman who cares on some level about her power, and so you can come in with that kind of. I see it as a done for you. Like how you meet a woman, want to connect with a woman, and you just never know. But in this community, these women have all come through this womanhood initiation. They're paying the same $99 a month as you. So there's been a kind of screening where you can be like, wow, I have access to these women who have actually put money into caring about their power. So there's a different kind of trust, if you will, that you can lean into. So I actually see that as a value for you. And still, I see it very much as intro. And then you start to show who you are and see how you show up or don't show up. And you graduate. For those who are ready to graduate quicker, they graduate quicker and people take their time. You might be like, well, this is not for me after all. That's fine too. Because there's no, like, it's not no like 6 month commitment. There's none of that. It's month to month. You can leave at any time. So, this womanhood initiation is your gateway into the woman community. Okay. So, when you come to the womanhood initiation, that doesn't guarantee you access to the woman community. It's an opportunity for us to get to know each other more. But you need to be clear what this is about and the fee, and that this is the gateway to the woman community, and just know all this before you come. Don't show up like, well, what is this again? Well, I don't really want to be here. And I don't really know what this is. It seemed interesting and this has happened. So I'm telling you this here in advance so you can read the details on the page, know what you're signing up for, know what you're saying yes to, and only move forward with the registration to the Womanhood community if you read the page and you're like, yeah, this is for me now. Okay? All right, clarity is so important. It's amazing. A lot of people don't read. So there's that. Okay, so noticing. I want to get into noticing somehow. Now I think I'm going to go. I'm ready to lay down. Uh, I went to an aqua aerobics class today. It was so good. And so much water, and I feel like um, something is washing through. Anyway, so noticing and all the ways that we've already constructed a life based on avoidance, and how this noticing can help you start to confront this and start being willing to take on pain in the ways that you're willing to now. All right, so let me open up the newsletter and read specifically the noticing part. Okay. So this is about getting to the other side. I put a lot into this newsletter, you all. Um, this particular one that went out yesterday or Monday, it was like writing and editing a short book in a day. It was so long. I didn't intend for it to be, but it just became so rich, and I was so into it. And I was so into it that I forgot what I was supposed to do for the day. And I had signed up for Pilates, completely forgot that I was supposed to be in Pilates until I got the email saying, if you miss another class, you're not going to be able to sign up for classes. And I was like, oh my God, I totally lost track and forgot. Because I was so in a zone of writing. And I was like, ah. And when I really get in the zone of writing, I'm like talking out loud. And then I get up and I walk around and then I sit down. And it just became a whole. And before I looked up, I was like, oh my God, this is like a short book around here. So anyway, so this is about continuing to the other side. Okay, continuing to the other side. What do I mean by the other side? Remember I talked about over here where there's like lots of ego thrills and empty calories where it never feels like enough. And what else? What else is it like over here? I feel like y'all would have a bunch of answers because this is where most people are, which is why it's so easy to find friends and because like everybody's over here. We know exactly, right? The mediocre class. Uh, Lord Farquaad, what was that cartoon? Whatever happened to the separation of the classes? My niece, no, my nephew used to watch that one. Lord Farquaad. You remember that? Whatever happened? It's nothing personal. It's just that we're better than you. Yeah, I know which cartoon I'm talking about. Girl, them cartoons be cutting up. When the last time y'all watched the girl, them cartoons be cutting up. That was on the damn cartoon. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Whatever happened to the separation of the classes? It's nothing personal. It's just that we're better than you. So I say that because over here with the mediocre class, there's so many friends and oh my God, it's just, oh, I so relate. Like everybody totally understands living in the trauma and the anger of this, and oh, I'm pissed about that, and oh God, woe is me, and earth is trash. Girl, I know, girl, and oh God. Like just oh my gosh, just so much. And then as soon as you come over here and you say yes to the signature path, it's crickets. It's crickets. It's like when you was over here, it was girl, I know, girl. And but you come over here and it's like suddenly they're looking at you with suspicious eyes and who do you think you are? And so noticing. So when I say the other side, this is what I'm talking about. Over here, separation of the classes. And then over you come over here where the other side is. And the newsletter was about how do we get over here? How do we deal with the pain? Because there's like a and I want to just mm, I know it's horribile. That's how you say horrible in Italy. It's horribile. I know. It's horribile. Again, God, why? Like why? Like if and why do we look up? What is that? God, why? I'm telling you, girl. Anyway. So anyway, how do we get over here? Here's how. Here's one way. It's not the only way, it's one way. Okay. Honesty is easy when it's easy. Cause I'm a real one. Or are you a real one when there's shame on the line? When you're ashamed, is you a real one? This is what I mean, this highfalutin ass. Come on now. It's when we fear looking a certain way, losing something, or hurting someone, and how we think we'll feel pain about any of these circumstances happening is where we typically lie or withhold. An excellent daily practice, if you're sincere about being free and living fully, is to notice yourself and be honest about what you notice. Again, this is my weekly erotic path newsletter that I publish every Monday. If you would like to access this level of illumination, this level of power and freedom, you go to the link in my bio, click it, and at the very top, I think it says Erotic Path Newsletter. You can sign up right now. I'm going to repeat that last sentence. An excellent daily practice, daily, if you're sincere about being free and living fully, is to notice yourself and be honest about what you notice. So, this is the how on how to navigate. Again, let me repeat. Let me just read it. Notice, not judge. Notice, not judge. Notice, not judge. Not like I shouldn't. Why did I? How can I don't know. What are they gonna? What? Not now. Oh, it's horrible. No. Just notice. Here we go. Notice nuance about you. Notice your first reactions to people, words, and situations. Notice all your feelings. Notice what you say instead of what you actually want to say and why. Notice what you withheld and be honest about why you withheld it. Again, this is the how of how to start really looking at where, because here, why? Mm. I cannot speak enough about how so much of you is unconscious to yourself. This is humanity at large, not just you. How much of you don't even see yourself. You don't even so much of like obviously whatever is conscious to you is conscious to you. Like anything you can think is conscious. So anything you think about yourself, you think about other people, all that is conscious. 90% of how you move around, how you think, feel, is unconscious, meaning it's completely hidden from you. Don't you think that matters in your quality of life and in your decision making? What this does, this noticing, is helped you to start to hit the unconscious parts of you that you don't see. Okay. Now, this is a very conscious, active, awake thing, but it still works, right? Because there's so much other work you can do from like right before you go to sleep to start to get closer to your unconscious mind or first thing in the morning. But there's lots of conscious work you can do to start to penetrate your unconscious mind. It just has, you have just have to be so present and noticing while you're doing it. That's why I say you notice, you don't judge. So it's a very soft one with practice that's daily. Notice the well, hold on. Notice why you walk like that. Notice why you decided to show up to that meeting that way. Notice why you waited to respond or didn't respond at all. Be honest. That's the key. Notice the real reason why you published that piece of content. Notice why you chose to comment like that. The intent, I'm adding this, the intent behind your comment. Notice that. Notice what you felt about a particular topic when you first woke up in the morning, when you were closer to your unconscious mind, and now what you think about that very same topic now that you're in your day, just moving around on autopilot. Did you catch that? What is that right there? What am I? Do you feel what that how that can point to something right there? What I just said? Because when I wrote that, I was like, somebody has to be tapped in on a particular level to even get that. But the people who get that. Because it's so easy to get caught up in our day, the autopilot of our day, when we had the wisdom right there in the first 10 seconds that we came into our waking state, our first 60 seconds of coming into our waking state. We knew it, and then now it's here. We're in our everyday lunch out, and we forgot, we lost it, and the action we would have taken from that 60 seconds is very different than the action that we're taking now in our autopilot frame of mind, conscious mind. Did y'all catch that or no? So what is that? Anyway, I already broke it down. So no, yeah. Notice why you avoided or left that situation. Why did you avoid my message? Why did you lie when I asked you about the message? Like all that. Why did you avoid that? Because I didn't want to feel because I didn't want to, like this. You see what I mean? This is how you start to open up and give permission to feel, because all this avoiding, this is what I mean by women are refusing power. No, I don't. Oh, I didn't get your message. Oh, really? Oh, I gotta set this up first because I missed that. I told. Okay, why are you choosing that answer? Well, because ugh, this is how you start to see where you avoid, why you avoid, and then just noticing. And then with sincere curiosity, without judgment, okay, what did I not want to feel there? I didn't want to feel the sting of my decision. I didn't want to own the fact that I was avoiding dealing with that because I actually didn't want to deal with that because that felt like too much responsibility because I didn't like what that was going to require of me. I'm not ready to step into that. You see how that would get you free just going there? Do you want to be free or not? Because part of your freedom at this point could be no, I don't want to be free right now. Right? No, I don't want to be free right now. Like, I'm very comfortable being unfree. Like, this is the actual truth for a lot of people. Like, I prefer, even with all my anxiety, even with my knowing I'm not being who I am, even with my sickness, even with my internal state of rage and resentment, this is more familiar and comfortable because at least I get to belong where I'm currently belonging. Like, even that could be a conscious, okay, this is my choice right now. Versus like trying to act like you're trying to do the freedom thing, but not really. Because that can create a whole other level of dissension, internal dissension, anxiety. That makes sense? Anybody relate to that? Notice why you chose victim. Notice why you acted like you knew when you didn't. Why did you act like you knew? Did, did you feel weak or insecure not knowing? Did you want to feel like you were smart because then they would want to be your friend? Just the point is to notice and then to really question why you chose this way. And when you answer it from every angle that you, and when you answer it honestly from every angle that you answer it, you will free yourself more and more and more and more. And you'll eventually hit a spot. And so many people don't hit the spot because it can hurt on the way to the spot of answering it honestly. This is why we avoid situations. Our nervous system knows this in advance. We'll avoid situations, people, conversation with the potential for those spots in us to get hit. And so we'll avoid people when we feel like we'll avoid situations. Notice why you always feel the need to project a certain personality. Like this is notice why you need a certain energy or treatment from others. Again, tell the truth and notice how the truth feels. And then inquire, as I said, inquire with yourself about how much of your decision making has been around avoiding or judging this very feeling. When you really commit to taking honest noticing and facing painful feelings on as a daily practice in all areas of your life, and then choose the honest path more and more, your life will positively change and it will undoubtedly add to your freedom and full living. Et voila. Et voila. So, something I said in here that I want to reiterate is I want to acknowledge how difficult this path is. It's very difficult. Many are called and few are chosen. That will never change. It's very difficult. You're going to lose things. I mean, like major things. I gave up my marriage because I knew I wasn't going to become the woman that I was required to be in that marriage. I left a good, when I say good, I mean what most people would call good. Okay. It ain't good if you ain't being true and if you can't become who you are. But by society's standards of what makes a good marriage, it was a good marriage. I left that. This is what I mean by losing. And I don't feel like I lost. But a lot of people will feel like they're losing. You might lose a particular relationship that's near and dear to you. Many are called, few are chosen. You can't fake this. You can inhale a bunch of content all day. Many are called, few are chosen. Who's chosen here? I know that's a buzzword, and folks be talking about chosen and all that, wanting to feel important. And they got a spiritual knowledge, they're clairvoyant, and now they feel like they. Yes, you do. I think most people do feel like they choose themselves. It's the smart thing to do. I'm gonna. Dick Gregory said, and I'm closing out. Now's the time to ask questions. Now is the time to ask questions because I'm getting ready to close out. What's dangerous is when the universe picked you. Anybody saw that viral sound by Dick Gregory? What's dangerous is when the universe picked you. You don't see things as they supposed to be. You see things as they are. Cause see how you supposed to see this is the man posted it and the woman see that's how you supposed to see it. Anybody saw that? What's dangerous is when the universe pick you. You don't see things as they supposed to be or as you're supposed to see them. You see them as they are. And then he said, when the magic glasses come on, because now you can see things that you ain't supposed to see. Can't you see that this is how we do it around here? No, actually, this ain't it. He said you can't make nobody else see it. That's why I say you can inhale all the content you want. I'm just doing my job. That's it. I'm doing my part. That's it. I am well taken care of in perpetuity. You only get held at the level that your high self knows that you are to be held when your heart says yes to your signature chosen path. Can you fake it? Can't beg God. God. You say the rose-colored glasses, and you can't never take them. You can't never unsee. You can't never unsee. He said something like that. You can't never unsee. And this is one last bit I'll add. Have a good time. I was talking to my mom the other day. I said, Mom, this is one of the best summers I've had in a while. Have a good time. Make a lot of money. Do what you came here to do. Fuck with people who are about it. Have your standards. Wish a motherfucker would. Be willing to assert violence. Bitch, listen. You're covered. So I'm not saying you're going to be needing to be out here doing certain kind of shit. But sometimes you need to just sometimes you just need to nip tuck. Sometimes just a little nip tuck on a nigga. Yeah. This is why I talk about reconciling your fear of death, For those of you who have a fear of death, yeah, face it. Be willing. Be willing to go today. I mean this. This is the work we do at higher levels. Like, we ain't gonna do this in the woman community. Y'all ain't ready for this. Half of y'all don't even keep y'all word. Y'all not ready for this, what I'm talking about, okay? But when we really get to advancing levels, we do very deliberate work with readying you for death. So it never gets in the way of what you're here to fucking do. It's a whole other level. Yeah. Have a good time. Make a lot of money. Fuck every which way you want to fuck. Tell the truth. Be kind. Be true. Do what the fuck you know you're supposed to do. Have a good time. Have a good ass time. Look good. Smell good. Laugh when you mean it. Laugh loud, bitch. Take up space. Have fun, bitch. Get in the water. What? Yeah. Talk to old boy. Laugh. Bitch, because your time is limited. Did you forget? Wasting time. Bitch, I had very clear conversations with both my mom and my sister. And this last week, I said, y'all wasting time. Y'all just act like, what the Buddha say? The problem is you think you got time. You think you got time. I cried. My mom called me with some wonderful news. Listen, call me when you're ready to act right. Like, listen, have a good time. You better have a good time. You better go laugh. You better go sleep good. Do what feel good. What feel good? Lay naked. Girl, have a good time. Make a lot of money. Buy the dress. Look good. Go out to eat. Put on a dress with no panties on and walk down the street. And like my grandma say, switch that ass every which way but loose. Your time is limited. What you doing? You bitch, get out my face. Girl, I don't even fuck with girl, please. Them conversations don't even call me when you're ready to act right. Y'all wasting time. Y'all wasting time. I don't want to hear none of any and everything you could say. All of it. Wasting time. All of it. And have a good time. That's it. Girl, have a good time. Make a lot of money so you can pay for the shit that require money.